to share with you one of my all-time favorite soups, especially for this time of year when it's kind of chilly out and we want that nice soup. So this is a chickpea noodle soup. So instead of a chicken noodle soup, we are making it so much healthier with using chickpeas. And we know that this is a great source of protein and fiber and lots of nutrients. So very, very simple. Again, I keep all of these ingredients always in my pantry, but if not, you would have shopped for these ahead of time. So the first thing we want to do is we want to get a medium-sized pan, or depending how much you're making. Now, typically, I double or triple the recipe so that I can prepare enough food for a couple meals. I have a large family. But if it's just you or a couple of you at home, you can also freeze whatever you're not going to eat that week. So I'm going to saute the onions. And notice I am not adding any oil, right? We know that. Whole food, plant-based, without oil. And the onions are going to give out a little bit of water, a little bit of their essential oils to coat the pan. So as long as we are not cooking at a high temperature, we should be good to go. So we're just going to saute that for a couple minutes. In live, we're just going to shorten the time, but that's fine. We're going to add, now this is celery, and you can add this, that's optional. But we're going to go ahead and add as many vegetables as we can here. Ooh, we got our friends from London and Australia, Canada, wow, all over the world. Friends from North Carolina. Thank you so much for joining us today. So we're just sauteing our celery, our onions. Next, I'm gonna add some carrots. And notice one thing, I did not peel the carrots. So you wanna try and keep the fiber and the phytonutrients that a lot of times are tied to that peel. So I know my grandmother had a hard time not peeling her potatoes. Like here, as you can see, we're keeping that peel intact. So just give it a nice scrub and just add them to your recipe. Oh, smells delicious already. What are you guys having for lunch? All right, so here I'm gonna add some thyme. I'm gonna add the spices now. Now I have here a chicken seasoning, homemade chicken seasoning, because it would be kind of the flavor profile that you would use for poultry or chicken. And this is homemade, so you can actually control the sodium if you want to add or not salt to this. So this is nutritional yeast. This is basil, dry basil, garlic powder, onion powder, a little bit of sea salt, depending on how much you want to use. And again, the recipe is on the description of this Facebook Live, and I will also post it on the website. So we're going to add our seasoning here, as well as our chickpeas. So we have 2 cups of chickpeas, garlic, and feel free to double or triple the garlic if you like. Now we're going to add the liquid. I have here my vegetable stock, and that's about 4 cups. 1.5 cups of water. And one thing to note is I am using quinoa brown rice noodles. So I went ahead and boiled and cooked my noodles, pre-cooked them, because gluten-free noodles, they kind of just start to get the water a little bit starchy, and I don't want that for my soup. So I did that, I drained them, and I'm gonna add them once the vegetables are soft. Now, if you're cooking with whole wheat noodles, you don't have to do that. You can cook it with the vegetables, so up to you. And we're just gonna cover that, let that boil for a little bit, and wait until it's tender, and then we'll add the noodles. And again, at the end, taste, and if you wanna add a little sea salt and pepper, you can do that. This is how the soup looks once it's done. Look how delicious, how beautiful. We're gonna add some cilantro and enjoy. Now think of our herbs as leafy greens because that's what they are, right? They have a lot of nutrition and we want to make sure that we add them to our recipes. There's a couple of more tips that I wanted to share right before we go. I do get these green bags. I don't know what your experience is, but mine is that my produce lasts longer when I store them here, so maybe you'll find the same. And I reuse these whenever possible, you know, until they break, but I put my produce in here and make sure you take the air out. So that's one of the things that I have found very, very useful. The other tip is especially for if we're storing our soups and our food that is still hot. I have these silicone bags that I got online, and I store the food here, and this is heat resistant, so it's totally fine, and has a little here top to close it. And we can store the food, and then you can freeze it and then take it out of the freezer and just put it in hot water. So let's see. Oh, you're making me so hungry. Oh, thank you. So how do you use the bags? Just put your veggies in there, keep them in the refrigerator tight, make sure that they're closed well, because if they're not closed, then the air gets in there and then they start to spoil. But again, if you're buying frequently, every week or twice a week, then you should be having fresh vegetables at your fingertips. I want to remind you guys that we have a wonderful plant-based certificate course that you guys can take a sample online, as well as many other resources. So take a look, and until next time, thank you so much.